How do you do? It would be a little unkind to present this picture without just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
Gee, I sure do love metal. So do I, Doritos. So do I. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another very exciting episode of the Wyatts Metal Podcast. 2 weeks in a row. I'm on a roll. Imagine that. How is everybody doing? Anyone doing some fun winter metal stuff? I don't know what, but listening to Frozen Soul on repeat while you're out snowboarding, or maybe you're at one of those few winter metal festivals. Vakken used to have this like mountain cabin festival. I don't know if they still do or not. That would be cool. Anyway, not a whole hell of a lot going on here. Just getting ready for the holiday and my birthday, which is a couple days before the holiday, before Christmas. And that is a weird thought to have of just getting older, life, that type of shit. um, but it is all good here. My band Dark Insanity is prepping to record our single. We should be recording that this weekend. We're all fingers crossed, hoping it works out, and we'll have awesome shit to play for y'all later. I'm excited to drop it on y'all. I think you'll like it. We got a ton of tours announced. We got some Kiss Gene Simmons drama, so it's another day that ends in Y. We've got what was it? Well, it's pretty much the end of the year. I figure it's a good time to discuss our album of the year. I tried looking up a bunch of different people's videos to see some shout outs there. Some things I definitely don't agree with, and some are pretty common. I said this in a interview. Some people think that I listen to like too much just underground music, or some people think I listen to just too much mainstream that everyone knows, and I don't give a fuck. So my list will probably have a good mix of both. Let's get to the comments. Projector says, "Oh shit, it's already Wednesday. I would have forgot too. I am also bad with time. It goes by so quickly, doesn't it? Rocket is here, chilling in the chair. Not going crazy yet. We'll see if he does later. Wyatt, are you excited for Terrifier 4? I am not. I am not a fan of those movies. I've only seen parts of them, to be honest. I haven't sat down and watched one all the way through. But it's weird. When I was younger, a teenager, I was into all like the slasher, horror, goofy shit, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, and everything. And now that I'm older, just slasher killing brutality, that alone doesn't do it for me. I need more of an interesting story, more something that holds it together than just slasher blood. Like, I'm not shitting on it. I know that, they have a huge fan base and a lot of my friends love those movies, but it's just, I don't know, watching the most brutal, gory, fictional death doesn't really appeal to me. I'd need more of a story, more going on. That's just me. I'm getting old and lame, as I said. It's not that I don't like horror. It's that I need a good reason for the horror. Jedi Therapy says, "Hey Wyatt, I have a game rec. It's called Ready or Not. You command a SWAT team and go through things like a school shooting, CP ring, and human trafficking. Also recommend Outlast Trials. Absolute blast." I've been wanting to try Ready or Not because I've seen the videos of the gameplay. It looks amazing and like super realistic. And I like the whole idea too. It's not a run and gun. It's very realistic. I heard that they'd been like toning down elements of the game to make it more accessible for people, which is kind of lame. But I think they have a VR version of that, and I definitely will do that. I already play some military shooting game. I don't know even what it's called on the VR. And it's really not that great of a game. If you just played it on its own, like flat, you'd be like, this is mid as fuck. But on the VR, you're like, whoa, holy shit, super realistic. So doing Ready or Not on that, I think would be insane. Let me get down and check and make sure my mic is working. All right. We don't need that happening again. I will never forgive myself for being mute for 16 minutes. Becky says, finals are over. Now live Wyatt. I am still a live Wyatt for the moment. We'll see if that changes. I'm ignoring the spam post. What's the over-under on him being late? 100%. 100% every time. I saw that comment and I was like, all right, now I need to start it a little bit early. Stop calling me out on shit I need to be held accountable for, okay? Nobody likes that. I'm trying to be all vitriol about this situation. Any update on Cokehead? Where in the world is Cokehead Kyle? We should play that game. Sophia says, what's up, guys? What is up indeed? I heard Dark Insanity left Wyatt at a 7-Eleven and Rocket is the new vocalist. He wishes. We've been making so many jokes about that. I was wanting to make a meme that says Dark Insanity abandons vocalist at Porta Potty and put gas station was too good for him. And then we were talking about this story at band practice. My guitar player goes, my guitar player says to our drummer, "You'll remember when we were in Europe and we were gonna abandon him?" And then the drummer goes, "Remember when we did abandon him, but he caught up to us?" And we were laughing for like 3 minutes straight. We have to have the best, obviously not true versions of where someone got abandoned and why. It makes it funnier. Lilith says, "Can I come late?" Pause. Not appropriate. It's Christmas time. We're 2 weeks from Christmas and you're being inappropriate. Sharon says it doesn't even feel like the holidays. Where's your Christmas spirit? You got to up it a little bit more. Play random YouTube videos on all those AI ones on traditions of Christmas we used to have, we don't have anymore. That after you've watched like 4 of them, you're like, these are all the same video, just with different voices. I've caught on to that fucking AI YouTube shit. Or you can watch my more holiday-esque videos of, well, I really only have one about metal Christmas stuff. I heard Gene actually caused good drama this time. No spoilers. Yes and no. Obviously, if Gene causes some good drama, he has to balance it out with some bad drama that he just apologized for. But we'll get to that. Yeah, Gene spoke to Congress about some, I'm going to be honest, I don't know what the fuck it is. Some bill he's trying to pass or help getting passed or sponsoring for musicians to get paid better. I do have the highlights of it pulled up that we can go over. Creator is touring the U.S. headlining Maryland Death Fest. I think I have them pulled up here. Yeah, I got their tour pulled up. We're going to go over that. No spoilers. Damn. You're ruining the movie. Saw Sabaton on Friday. Amazing. Hell yeah. Where they're doing the big, giant, like, castle walking across the arena. I was thinking about that when I went to see Transparent Orchestra recently. Like, I told my mom, actually, that Sabaton's on that level now. And she goes, we saw them early. Because she came with me to a few of my first European metal festivals. And Hellfest 2009, I think it was when we first saw Sabaton opening the main stage at like 11 a.m. in the rain. And now they are headlining arenas. I did not see that coming, but I am not complaining. Hold up 1 second. Pause for caffeine. Some would say it keeps slipping into the future. Everybody loves that movie. Alex asks, are you going to see Creator next year? I mean, I guess so, because I plan on going to Maryland Death Fest, or at least try my best to. So, probably. I would guess there's a high likelihood that I will. TR2603 says, Merry Christmas, Wyatt. What metal band would you say gets into holiday spirit like how Die Hard is a Christmas movie? Oh, if you're going with that route, I have a whole video on Christmas metal songs, but just to remember some at the top of my head that are funnier. It's not Die Hard-esque, but my favorite metal Christmas album is Majestica's Christmas Carol. But that's genuinely a good, fun, Christmassy thing. If you're looking for something more funny and action-packed, Venom has a song called Black Christmas. Doesn't Tankard have? Is it Tankard that does Fuck Christmas? I think so. August Burns Red. The only time that I listen to that band is during Christmas time because their Christmas albums are really entertaining. If you want really just ridiculous old stuff, there's Twisted Sisters Christmas album. Nah. Is there like a horror Christmas album or just a really like thrash, Christmas, drink everything, punch your stepsister in the face, burn the Christmas tree, piss on grandma's ashes. Is there a type of thrash metal band that does that? If not, we need to do it. The Thrashing of the Claws. That's what it'll be. That's what I was trying to think of a band name. All right, I'm jumping down to more current comments. We're getting caught too long. Yes, Sabaton had the full castle, had Napoleon, Genghis Khan, based as fuck, Caesar, Knights Templar, so much fire, so much awesome. I would love to see that tour. I think that looks amazing. Sabaton's coming here. I don't know if they're doing all that. But it has been a minute since I've seen them. Last I saw them was Hellfest 2019, so I definitely should. Never seen Death Clock live. The whole concept seems absurd. It is. Anyone actually seen them, and was it worth it? I did see Death Clock at a festival one time. It was very entertaining for sure. Would I go see them just by themselves? Probably not. But if they're playing with other bands that are good, then sure, yeah, it is a good time. I mean, the people who play in it are genuinely talented, but it is a ridiculous idea. And if you're a big Amon Amarth fan, they're touring with Amon Amarth. We got that pulled up too. We'll get to it. There's a Psycho Stick Christmas album. I did not even know that. There you go. That's probably your closest bet. Ice Nine Kills is a song about Silent Night, Deadly Night called Merry Xmas. That's one. Yeah, there you go. Throw that on the pile. Oh, yeah. What the fuck am I thinking? Completely spaced on the best one. King Diamond's No Presents for Christmas. Just play that on repeat the whole fucking time. I'm ashamed of myself for not thinking of that one right away. What the fuck is wrong with me? Rocket's disappointed. Hellfest 2019 was when Joachim was sick and couldn't sing, right? If I remember correctly, the set that they performed when they were supposed to, because they played twice, because they filled in for Manowar who canceled like bitches. So I'm pretty sure the first set they were good. Then the second set, Sabaton agreed at the last minute to fill in for Manowar because they were bitches. And that's when I think Joachim was sick. And was it Tommy or somebody? One of the guitarists was doing most of the vocals. Yeah, that was hilarious. The entire fucking, yep. When Joachim blew out his voice when Manowar pulled diva shit. Yeah, dude, like so many metal people I know and respect, like friends of mine, love Manowar and hold them in really high regard. And I never say anything because, you know, like I'll let them have it. But I'm just like, they're fucking bitches for pulling that bullshit at Hellfest. Like, ugh. I'm not trying to shit on your love for the music and the fun of it and everything, but I thought that was such a bitch move, and I was there, so. Hey Wyatt, you should check out Banger Open Air. It's the best South American festival in Sao Paulo, Brazil. That would be sweet. I've heard of it for sure. Banger Open Air, I feel like it's been around for a minute. Yes, Death Clock was great live. Chimera opened for them. Nice. When was that? I don't even remember that tour. Hollywood Undead has a Christmas song called Christmas in Hollywood. I plan on listening to it soon. Of course you do. We got... All right, I'm going to catch up here, get left behind. And it'll take way too long if I just read comments the whole time. I was at Hellfest 2019, and I still love Manowar enough to see them this past year in Estonia. Well, damn. Like I'm saying, I get people still love the fun cheesiness of it. I thought that was lame as fuck. Can we get to the Gene drama first? I was kind of actually planning on holding off on it for a bit. Because it's kind of long. I wanted to get through the tours coming up first. My Christmas playlist is equal parts classic Christmas songs and metal Christmas songs, so it's like Russian roulette at my family Christmas party. What a way to put it. You got to keep them on their toes. It'll be like beautiful, like Frank Sinatra or something, and then BAM! Where was... I saw one about it. Is there a next Riots and Concerts video coming? I mean, probably not, just because I already got that one with the majority of them in it. Unless if you want to go out and start more Riots so I can cover them, that would be cool. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Don't sue me over saying that. What do you think of the new Sabaton album Legends? Came out in October. There's songs on it that I like. I think Templars is really awesome. Crossing the Rubicon is awesome. Some of it I think is a bit kind of cheesy and lazy, even on Sabaton's part. Like the Napoleon song, I think is super disappointing. It's really just corny, and I feel like doesn't have that much thought to it. Music-wise, it's fine. It's Sabaton. It's not blowing away, stands out, or anything, but I still think is good when it comes on. What else was on there? Hordes of the Con is pretty good. Could be better. I think my favorite song on it is probably Templars, to be honest. What was your concert of the year? Mine was Ne Oblivicaris. I don't know if I said that right. Do festivals count? Is it like bands live at all? Or is it only like single concerts? What did I see this year? I know it was very recent, but Judas Priest and Alice Cooper was great. What the fuck else was in? I have to like sit down and look at a list of what I saw this year and be like, oh yeah. I was never into Sabaton. I just hate Yoakum's vocals. Wow. I'm not gonna boo this man, but wow. What was the last Sabaton album that blew you away? Pause. No, Coat of Arms was really good. I liked that one all the way through. The Great War. I don't love every song on that album, but the song The Great War is maybe my favorite Sabaton song. That one is just like beyond fucking epic, I think. Yeah. I loved Art of War all the way through. It's not metal, but my concert of the year was Turnstile. Shit. I've heard they're pretty crazy live. Good. Candlemass with Messiah. Mark Holland was the best concert for me. That's sick. I'm jealous of that one. The only problem I had with the new Sabaton album was that the lyrics in Hordes of Con and The Duelist were kind of weak. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That and the Napoleon one is like, I will conquer all. You could have done. It's Napoleon. How are you going to be so fucking lazy? You came up short on the Napoleon song. Oh yeah. This Carlinus Rex is my favorite Sabaton album. I don't know if it's my favorite album, but I would say songs like all the way through solid. Yeah, probably that would be the last one. I'd probably give like a 10 out of 10. Turnstile is super sick. Everyone in the crowd was moshing and moving, as they should be. Damn, I really do got to like really sit down and think what all concerts did I go to this year. But let's talk about some concerts that are coming up, shall we? Because a lot of very good ones were announced recently. Someone already mentioned. We got Creator announces May 2026 U.S. tour with Carcass. It's weird how 2026 is just around the corner. This whole podcast, we're all just going to be like, time's moving fast. We're old. That's the theme. Creator with Carcass. Is there anyone else on this lineup? They're hitting Welcome to Rockville, Sonic Temple, Maryland Death Fest. We'll be bringing Cold Steel. Cold Steel. It's a rather short tour. Damn, they should really extend that one. There's actually like several of the tours that I think I'm about to mention are missing either the West Coast entirely or California, which is very strange. I mean, I don't blame them, but pretty much every tour comes out this way. But hey, if you're on that side of the country, there you go. Where's my thing? Lost where the stream is at. We also got, I think this one is going to be awesome. I'll have to go this one. Clutch with Corrosion of Conformity. Get the fucking weed out. Get the acid, the shrooms. It is time. All of these concerts should be in the desert. You should have to get there in a Hunter S. Thompson car. If you don't show up with a briefcase full of drugs, you're not allowed to attend this concert. Support on the trek will come from JD Vance. No, JD Pincus. I don't know who that is, but probably fitting. Is this one skipping us too? Yeah. Wow. Everyone is banning California or boycotting California, which as someone who's lived here my whole life, I understand. But it's weird. It does stand out, actually. Well, I guess I'm not going to this one then. Fine. I would, though. Both those bands are fucking sick live. Why aren't Megadeth headlining Rockville? They want to go to bed early. Ever since I heard someone say that excuse, I was like, that's completely understandable. You're like, oh, it's disrespectful to not have the old legendary band headline. And they're like, maybe they want to play the show, sit down, have dinner with their family, read a book, and go to bed at a good time. You ever think about that? Cradle touring with Suffocation, what the fuck? I pulled that one up too. You know who was supposed to be on that tour but then dropped off? Dogma. They probably dropped off because they knew I would clown on that tour so hard. They're like, we cannot give Wyatt this much money. We have to. But yeah, that got announced. I thought that was hilarious. Cradle of Filth announces spring 2026 U.S. tour with Suffocation, Ghost Bath, and Cludus Black. Gotta get that money for court. Coming to also skipping California. You see, Gavin, you see what happens? All of the metal bands skip California. Thanks. I mean, I wouldn't have went this one anyway, but but yeah, if you want to see a band that doesn't pay its members, maybe perform live or sing live, check out Cradle of Lawsuits. Coming to a court stream near you soon. What do we got here? I was never a big fan of Cradle. I like them off and on. Like, they have a good album here, and then like a couple albums that are not good, and then a good album, and then a couple albums that aren't good. But like Midian is, I still think is an awesome album. Written by people better than the singer. The savior of metal scare offer of Dogma. Just come walking out the line. It's like Gandalf running down on the Pelennor fields when the dragons were running. It's like, no. Azalea Dying is touring Russia. Probably the only place they're allowed to, really. That's what I'm saying. In Russia, Tim hasn't done anything wrong. Is it just me or are metal tours getting shorter? I mean, maybe that would be something to look into. Things are getting more expensive. Things are just harder to do now. Things are just, yeah. I think one part is that it just is genuinely more expensive to tour and do all of these things. And then another end of that is how much is that artist taking home at the end of the day? And does it become really that worth it to want to go out on a tour for that long, depending how much money you're sinking into it? Some bands might want to start scaling back a little bit more and do a shorter tour here, go home, do a shorter tour here. When I was younger and before I'd ever performed in a band at all and had like dreams of making it one day and probably would have signed a deal with Cradle of Filth, um, my thought was like the dream is to be on the road every day and always touring and traveling and playing nonstop, and that's it. And I definitely now understand why bands might grow out of that after a time. That would be something very interesting to go over in a video, how kind of rock/metal stars have changed over the years. I was thinking there's a meme of rock stars in the 80s and Slash passed out with like a bottle of whiskey next to him. And it says rock stars in, I think it's like 2016 or something. And it was just a dude on his laptop with a guitar next to him. Not that lame. We try to keep it a little more exciting, but yeah. Where are we? Oh my God, what? How is it even safe to tour Russia? Russia has more land at the moment. Things start pressing like, oh shit, jump to the other side. I hate Cradle of Filth even before the drama. Anything even adjacent to black metal is just a no for me. Damn. No love for black metal at all. Brutal. I mean, I get it, but Cradle of Filth symphonic parts are perfect, but the rest kind of ruins it. I can understand that. They should have a instrumental only album. It'd probably do great. What if Alyssa from Arch Enemy joins Dogma? I would highly doubt that very much. What if the girls from Dogma join Arch Enemy? Just have a revolving door of just fucking corporate bands just repeat themselves over and over again. Fucking Arch Enemy is so disappointing on a personal level for me because they were a big inspiration, influence for me coming up as a young little metalhead. I was very inspired by Angela Gasso. I still am by her vocal power and her stage presence is fucking badass. But then all of their lyrics are about like being strong and true to yourself and no one can tell you what to do. Brr! And they're like the Amazon of melodic death metal. They're like, if you're not here at this exact moment, we're not going to get paid for the day. I'm making this part up, but no sick days, no fucking word to what you actually get to do with the band. It's very corporate managed, which is very disappointing and hypocritical, I think. But still, do you think Angela is cute? Not really, personally. I think she's awesome. Always thought she's a fucking badass. She's like Sarah Connor of metal in a way that I've thought, but I don't think she's personally attractive to me. Maybe to someone else. I do think Alyssa is more physically attractive, but I like Angela a lot more vocal style and stage presence. She's a lesbian. I don't think she is. Whatever happened to that Black Earth thing they were doing only the first Arch Enemy album? Yeah, they did at least, I think, a tour of it. There's a YouTube video of them performing with that dude. That was cool. But yeah, I don't know. What else happened with that? More tours. We already talked about Amon Amarth with Death Clock. Amon Clock, the like cartoon death metal tour of the year. Opening with Castle Rat. So hot right now. Blah, blah, blah. PR shit I don't care about. What do people think of big giant death metal band of Monomarth touring with a cartoon. No, California. Yo, is this not weird? I'm just, every single tour either starts or ends in LA, in California. What the fuck? I'm confused. I respect it, but I'm confused. Someone in the chat asked if I ever think about California every single day. When I go to Hell's Heroes in Texas this coming, spring, I'm going to be looking around. Nothing guaranteed yet, but I definitely feel it's time to spread my wings and fly away. I think about it every night and day. I fucked up. I put the lyrics backwards. Anyway, you get the point. I was very confused when I read this right now. I was like, that's a massive detour. Oh. I'm on clock. Who's going to Amon clock? Hell's Heroes is a great time. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard many good things about it. I'm in my loving mid-sized festivals phase. So it seems like perfect for me. I want to check out a little bit of Houston, a little bit of Austin, and see how things are. Wyatt is an R. Kelly fanboy.
Boo this man!
This is the remix edition. Yo, speaking of that, all right, I can't jump onto that topic yet because we're going to go off, but who here's watched the Diddy documentary? I want to talk about that in a little bit because that shit was crazy. Tell me everything about this Hobbit Cafe. What Hobbit Cafe? Anyway. I'm on tour. Both very exciting, fun time. It'll be a good show. Is it the most underground true to death metal? Maybe not, but it'll be very entertaining for sure. I think we have winner of best tour name of the year already goes to Bloodywood, who just announced their System of a Brown tour. Round of applause. That is fucking awesome. Bloodywood announces System of a Brown tour with the Pretty Wild, Landerones, and Encore. Only band I know out of that so far is Bloodywood, but that's fucking hilarious. Wyatt's Metal approves of the usage there. Oh, look, they're kind enough to stop by Little Old California. System of a Brown is not afraid to come down to California during ice season, but all these other bands just be dodging the West Coast for some reason. Shout out to Bloodywood and System of a Brown for fucking hilarious name. You would think that was a joke, like someone's making that up, but no, that's the name of the tour. I respect it. Now California gets to feel like all the smaller states no one plays at. It's fair. It's fair. You know, we can't really complain. Of course, there's already third world and poop everywhere. They're like, what's the shittiest state? California. Oh, we'll feel right at home. Damn. Bloodywood is blowing up lately. They really are. Yeah. It's impressive that they're already doing these tours in the US and playing big festivals. I think it's cool. They're not like one of my favorite current bands or anything, but I think they're pretty cool. I like their unique blend that they add to metal. It's Indian new metal type of shit. Bob Ains says System of a Brown as a tour name was my idea. Or banish this blob of cheese of a human. I saw Bloodywood opening for Baby Metal. Amazing. Slipknot meets India. Slipknot meets... I'm trying to think of something funny here with this collection of Slipknot meets as in food India. They go all out for their stage shows there, I guess. System of a Brown is crazy, right? Right? That band instantly earned a little bit more fan stuff for me for that. Here in North Carolina, you either get Charlotte, Raleigh, or Greensboro, or stabbed. Beware of North Carolina, apparently. Y'all need some laws out there, from what I've seen on the television. Bands like Bloodywood scratch that itch that sometimes the brutal bands just don't do. Less is more, pure groove. You know, I kind of agree with that. I think I've said here a bunch of times that I do like the sound, the instrumental sound of nu metal. I like the groove, like funk elements to it. Most of the time, it's the vocals for me that tend to throw me off. A lot of the lyrics too are corny, but not just for Korn, but I do love that groove type of sound. And Bloodywood is a pretty good mix of that. System of Brown sounds like something you'd see in Instagram comments. I know. You'd see people making YouTube videos. Can you believe all these racists calling the tour System of a Brown? Bands like, that was our idea. Oh, fuck. Speaking of bands that sound like Slipknot, last tour I had to mention here was Slaughter to Prevail, announced spring 2026 North American tour with Whitechapel and Attila. I was trying to put together my list of best albums for the year, and I decided to re-listen to the Slaughter to Prevail album, and I don't think it's bad, but pretty, like, it's hard for me to get through it and not go, oh, it sounds like Slipknot. That's kind of my thought repeatedly, is like, yeah, it sounds kind of like Slipknot. That's basically. I saw them live at Milwaukee Metal Fest. I thought it was awesome. I think Alex is pretty cool, but the album won't be on the video. Just a spoiler alert right now. Much bigger tour actually coming to California. Check that out. I guess they have the money. Yeah. Alex still going strong. That sounds like a cool lineup. Slaughter to Prevail is cool, but I'm over deathcore. I was never into deathcore. So. Wyatt, will you ever show your playlist? Weirdly interested. No, I like keeping people guessing. No, I don't know. Honestly, my playlists a lot of the time have unexpected things. It's either like funny comedy shit, or I'm often listening to like funk and classic rock and old school music. Right now, you'd see a lot of fucking Christmas music on it at the moment, but I already have a list of like the best bands at the moment, and that's a good collection of metal bands I tend to frequently listen to. Wyatt, it's okay to listen to pop as a metalhead in 2025. You can show it. It is not pop. No, it's like, Wyatt's metal playlist would be, oh shit, James Brown, Earth, Wind, and Fire, the Blues Brothers. Whole lot of Boy George, fuck off. Absolutely. Maybe George Clinton and the Funkadelics, not fucking Boy George. It's not Epstein's metal over here. Wyatt listens to Kaya. Wyatt is trying to rescue Kaya. How can you bring that up? That's a emotional subject. Goodalox is one of my favorite funny bands. Hell, they're a good time. I'm not ashamed to dabble in Britney Spears. I think most people wouldn't. I mean, maybe now. Back in the day, a lot of people have been pretty thrilled to have dabbled in Britney Spears. Oh, let's get to the secret topic I mentioned before. Who watched the Diddy documentary? Someone was saying before that they didn't know that there was one. If you have not seen Sean Combs The Reckoning, now on Netflix, by the one and only film legend Curtis Jackson, aka 50 Cent, it's pretty insane. Funny enough that it was what? Obviously not as the metal stuff that's been happening lately, like with fucking Cradle of Filth and Dogma and everything. Not on any Diddy level or anything, but when there's moments where he's talking about screwing artists out of royalties and their payments and everything, that was like, wow, this happens everywhere, as you can tell. Don't really care about Diddy. Damn. Well, you should. It's a trip. He got Tupac and Biggie killed. Wyatt's Metal supports 50 Cent in his crusade. We think the Epstein file should be turned over to 50 Cent. 50 Cent did only interviews that Diddy would see in prison. Dude, if you want to see the most peak levels of hilarious hating and getting like long time revenge on somebody, 50 Cent and his whole like saga against Diddy has been fucking hilarious. I've seen so many of the interviews he's done where he's laughing his ass off. I'll cover you in baby oil, son. I heard 50 Cent would only have it on ABC so the inmates where he's locked up would see it. He's that type of guy. Have you seen all of the videos of him laughing about reporters asking him like how he got the footage and what he thinks about it? It's so fucking funny. Let's see if I can pull up one. Diddy tried to get too much Cambodian immigrant breast milk. They show a bunch of clips from that Making the Band day. A weird thing about the whole like Diddy saga, and it relates to Epstein, Nickelodeon, all that stuff. You see all of these things that were just normal, massively successful programming back in the day. Like I grew up and it was Nickelodeon and Diddy and all that shit was everywhere. All of our like entertainment, our mainstream entertainment was run either by predators or worse. Predators is like the least that you could hope for. Be like, oh, it's at least they're only a sexual predator, and not the things that get fucking worse. But I had no idea who Diddy was until last year. Really? I don't mean this in any rude way. I'm assuming you're probably fairly young then. Just because, yeah, Diddy, I was coming up when he was I was growing up when he was already like a massive mogul and was everywhere. Rocket doesn't give a fuck. Believe it or not, I'd never heard of Diddy before the allegations. Where do you people live and can I move there? I'm not making fun of you. I am jealous. It sounds like a good place to be. Let me find one of those funny ass clips really quick. Yeah, so I guess to sum it up for people who don't know, we'll go to metal stuff afterward. But dude, this is hilarious, and it deals with the music industry. Basically, Diddy is the Epstein of rap music. He had cameras filming all of these rappers, music people in uncompromising positions with, I don't think many underage girls, at least that wasn't really brought up much at all, I don't think. But unconscious women who were not consenting seem to happen a lot. And and murdering people. But so for a long time, it was basically I don't even want to say open secret, but like some people in the rap world knew that what Diddy was and were too afraid to speak out. One person who was never afraid to speak out was 50 Cent, who was openly saying shit all the time and making jokes on him. Dude, even if you're not into rap, you should follow this whole saga. It is so fucking funny. Where is the best clip I'm looking for? Damn, this might take a second. I promise it's worth it. It is hella funny. We need someone like 50 Cent in on the metal scene. I think if I was president, I would fire Cash Patel and replace him with 50 Cent. Damn it, where can I find this clip at? Now I have to find it. We've been hyping it up so much. Maybe this one. Pause for dramatic effect, ladies and gentlemen. Where the fuck? Probably on Instagram or something. Wyatts Metal talking about the rap game. Hell yeah. Hold up. I promise we're getting there. Please, I think, here we go. Let's jump to here is probably some of it.
Have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day. One could watch this and think that you really hate Sean Combs.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
Yeah, he's just been trolling him the whole time as people have like been afraid to speak out. It's fucking hilarious. Ah, man. Where was another?
I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time, a long time ago, at Chris Lighty's wedding. He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say? Let me move, man, before I do something. You're gonna make me mess up the wedding.
Oh, that's a nice gesture.
Let me get out of No, dude, you take me. That's what a guy says to a girl.
You've been getting out of over a decade.
I asked 50 about that. And he said you did the same thing to him. You asked him to take him shopping.
Yeah, I thought he needed some clothes. What? I'm a nice guy.
Yo, why are you in 50?
Hey, yo. I get uncomfortable. Like he said something to me one time.
We are now receiving reports.
I highly encourage everybody to go look into that whole saga. That shit is funny as fuck. In an alternate universe, we have Wyatt's hip hop and the video 12 Worst Crimes in Rap. That's a long video, dude. You can't just possibly do 12. It's going to be way longer than that. Let's see. American pop culture does not permeate the world. Thank God. I'm happy for that. Hang on, let me find one more thing. One more thing on that, I mean, and then it may not be metal, but we appreciate trolling and comedy over here. Damn, where is it? Hold up. All right, for the last bit on this whole hilarious peep into the hip hop drama of America, I guess. When 50 Cent was on the Flagrant podcast with Andrew Schultz, him talking about the whole situation is fucking hilarious, dude. Check this out.
What's happening with Puffy? I know you're not really tapped in, but what
the last thing I saw was like a guy there. He was like, "Yo," he like pushed me into the truck. It really hurt. And he sounded me. I was like, "Yo, look, I could find other things to do for money." Did you see him? Do for money? Bro, I'm not sure I can say that for money. Somebody pushed
How much is this guy trying to get?
I don't know. Like, it's a simple suit situation, but it's like
20 mil. I can say it.
You still have the blackest face out. You still have the mid voice because he's like,
but his voice wasn't even that different.
And a little deeper. I was like, almost like, no, that's you, young buck.
Yo,
almost felt like it was. I almost knew who it was.
He's talking about spotting a rapper in one of Diddy's like gay ass videos. Let's do it here.
Yeah, look like you guys just made Sweet Love. I'm gonna say Sweet Love instead of anything.
To me, that's better because they're gonna try to make it something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that was smart. Like I didn't think about that. I say things that are borderline. Like I'm like, oh my God, you're in trouble.
You?
Like all the time. Because I just say.
Nah, but you got close when he offered to take you shopping.
Yeah, you see, Meek is in the same shirt. He's out there in the same shirt. This is not Photoshop. This is
trying to get when he talks about the fucking story more.
I was like, nah, we partied tonight.
He's like, no, like, but they didn't party. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, they let that one go. Like, I had to say something about it later because I was like, oh, it was
what did it feel like all these years? You being the only one calling this out?
No, I look like I've been the crazy guy for a long time.
They said you're a hater. They said you're crazy.
You do this, and now everybody's complaining. My ass is hurting. There's all this shit that's coming.
50, you can't make jokes about it.
No.
The internet might come for you, bro.
All I'm saying
it might come for you.
You see it now. All of these complaints. People were damn, they were and pillaged. This was what was going on, right? And what do I get for I went through years of a hater. You're a hater. You want this and that. I'm just watching. Like I look at things and go. When you see the new lawsuit coming with Jay, the part with Jay, I go, oh shoot, like. Then I think about it, I go, that had to be there. So when I was saying that he was missing. He just wasn't actively being out there because they was dealing with that.
Wait, do you think there's truth to the Jay thing? There's no way.
Like that. Look,
I don't know who they're talking about now, but that one did not go into as much detail as I thought it would. But anyway, go check out that fucking Diddy documentary on Netflix. It is crazy. First clip looks AI generated. It's not. Metalheads who recoil at the mere mention of anything hip-hop, rap-related get 0 bitches. I don't like any hip-hop in the last, I would say 15 years. I grew up on early rap, like 50 Cent, Snoop Dogg, Dre, Ice Cube, and everything. But I think 2010 was my cutoff year. It was like, all right, there's too much auto-tune and crap getting in here. I think I'm tuning out. Wyatt, will the Lemmy video be a thing? I suggested on your post since this year it's going to be 10 years since we lost him. It could do that. That would be a good idea. Yeah, just how much of a fucking badass he was. That's not a bad idea. I'll have to keep that in mind to do a video for Lemmy. Sharon says, wow, you're almost at 100,000 subscribers. I know. It's insane. I cannot believe it. I am super fucking grateful that people like my shit. Yeah, it means a lot that you people will tune in and hear me ramble and talk about shit in metal bio videos and metal bio videos. So, if we're talking about controversy with famous people, what a good segue into Gene Simmons. So, I want to hear. Gene Simmons humbly apologizes for comments about Ace Frehley's death. I was wrong for using the words I used. One sip, and then we'll get to that. So recently, Kiss was honored at the, what was it called? That big ceremony with the president and shit. And Gene Simmons said something really dumb. Jesus fucking Christ, this is long. Where's the original post for it? So this is what Gene originally said, and then what he apologized for afterward. Says, over the weekend, Gene told the New York Post about Ace. He refused advice from people that cared about him, including yours truly, to try to change his lifestyle. In and out of bad decisions, falling down stairs. I'm not a doctor. Doesn't kill you. Gene is definitely not a doctor. There may have been other issues, and it breaks my heart. The saddest thing, you reap what you shall sow, unfortunately. It breaks my heart. Simmons continued before describing Freely's private funeral service. Yeah, saddest part was that Ace just couldn't stay alive long enough to sit there proudly at the Kennedy Center and listen to the president say, hey, kiss is cool. Yeah, Gene is definitely not a doctor because falling downstairs can absolutely kill anybody, especially when you bash your fucking head on something, sober or not. Says toxicology report has not been released on Ace. I don't think it honestly matters that much unless he did something like incredibly stupid. But so after a lot of backlash, because Gene was on a fairly decent streak before saying that. Ever since Ozzy, he was showing a little bit more emotion on things. But Gene says, on reflection, I was wrong for using the words I used. I humbly apologize. My hand to God, I didn't intend to hurt Ace or his legacy, but upon rereading my words, I see how it hurt everyone. Again, I apologize. I've always loved Ace, always. So, question. Do we think that was actually written by Gene? That is the hardest part here, because most of the time I will automatically say no. It's just a bullshit PR statement. This one, I don't know. It really could go either way. It could actually be Gene genuinely apologizing, or it could be him saying, oh, what, people are mad, just post some shit, get it over with, I don't care. Genuinely don't know. But it could definitely be him sincerely meaning it. People say some stupid shit when they're, you know, in a state of mourning loved ones sometimes. The founding Kiss guitarist Ace Frehley died of blunt trauma injuries to his head, which can kill anyone. What a fucking retarded thing for Gene to say in the first place. Manner of death was ruled an accident. Gene's the type of idiot to think he can't die from slipping in the shower, never mind stairs. Yeah. I was talking to a friend of mine about it recently, is that I feel like most people, when they think of their own death, they hope that it's either going to be peaceful, like you die in bed in your sleep without knowing, or some type of like, you know, go out in a blaze of glory, gunfire, some epic, like playing your favorite song on stage or something. When the sad fact of it is that most people, even the best humans out there, tend to die in really stupid, retarded ways, where it's like just slipping and hitting your head on some dumb thing. Slipping on a spare shoe, breaking your hip, that causes an infection and you die. You know, some retarded shit like that. No one ever says, I hope my death is hilarious. Think outside the box, people. Go out in a blaze of comedy. People say stupid shit when their name is Gene Simmons. Oh, there's the... Yeah, this is true. Says Dio also didn't start the throwing the horns before someone says that. It seems to have been a band called Coven from like 1968, 69. Yeah, that's true, actually. I did not know that until I had made a video on this channel that mentioned Dio starting the devil horns. And then people started calling it out and mentioning Coven. I was like, I have never heard of that before in my fucking life. Looked into it and it was true. So you do learn things on Wyatt's Metal. It's fun and educational. I slipped in the shower once after drinking a bit too much. Had to get stitches above my left eye Could have been a lot worse. Falling downstairs could most certainly kill you. Yeah. Anyone can slip and fall and bash the back of their head and die. But Gene doesn't seem to think so. He is stronger than the mere mortals. Also, it was either right before or right after that, the Kennedy Center honors, as someone mentioned. Gene spoke to Congress about they are working on a new thing. Let me read it more before it just sound totally fucking stupid. Gene Simmons, famous for his time as frontman and bassist for rock band Kiss, thanks AI, discussed issues in the music industry, from paying artists to radio play to coming AI issues in the popular music industry. Simmons discussed changes to the music industry and ways for artists to get compensated for their work. This is the best of, because the whole thing was like an hour and a half. We're not going to spend an hour and a half listening to Gene Simmons talk to politicians. This is why it's metal and not why it's group suicide like fucking Jim Jones. Anyway, entertain us for 12 minutes, Gene.
To simply say, this is why we need to do it today.
We have to do it today because AI is right around the corner. This is an archaic...
No, it's not. It's here.
This is an archaic injustice that's been around for a long time, and there's no reason why we should get in the middle of it. It's un-American. The basic premise of America is, pardon me for simplifying it, I was a 6th grade teacher.
Cash money.
If you work hard, you should get paid.
Okay, let me ask you about something else. I go to church, and I live in a neighborhood.
A woman just cut off Gene Simmons. Fucking round of applause to her. Lucky that wasn't Diddy. I will give fair credit to Gene here and say that he's not saying Kiss is not being given the pennies that they earn. He's talking about artists in general, whether, you know, how much he means it or how much the thing he's pushing would actually help, I don't know, but I would like to give that little bit of a caveat. Wyatt's political discourse. Everyone get drunk and punch each other at Thanksgiving. That's Wyatt's political discourse. Take things super irrationally.
Neighborhood in Nashville where we have a lot of session singers and musicians, background vocalists that are there. Talk about the significance to those artists of getting those pennies on the spin.
It's all.
We need pennies for drugs. How else do you think artists are going to make music if we can't afford drugs? Price is going up. We get left at the border now. We need to pay for those trips.
And see, when you mentioned Elvis and Frank Sinatra and everything, we're talking big ideas because they've scratched and worked their way to the top. The new artists really need these pennies when they get heard as their career starts on radio.
Can we make it dimes? It's always pennies. Can we get just a little bit more?
But there's no income. How do they get there? How do they claw their way up to the top with the help of radio? And again, I'm not here to demonize Mr. Hinton or the radio stations. We need each other. Performers need radio. Radio needs performers. But for God's sakes, equitable doesn't mean you get zero, and radio makes $14 billion just this last year. That's not equitable. I know it's a big word like gymnasium, but come on, Hinton. Let's get with it. Let's become American.
I have no idea how accurate that is, how much radio stations get make off of playing music and how much the artists get off of that. Because I don't listen to the radio. I listen to real music, Gene. No. Whoa, Dimes, you want drugs and food? It's 2025, about to be 2026. Can I get a handout, please? Boats are getting blown up. How do they expect to import the drugs? That's what I'm saying. It's getting more expensive. I need Al Gore speaking about lockboxes. But think of the exposure. You'll get pennies on the dollar and like it. I mean, that shit's been happening forever. Gene's talking specifically about radio and AI stuff here, but the Diddy documentary talks about him ripping off his artists and not paying them their royalties. This channel's talked a lot about that for many different artists.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah. The only artist that we all agree gets paid too much is Garbage.
Senator Schiff.
By the way, I'd like to point out how few people are here at this meeting. There's a lot of empty chairs. Just because you put something on YouTube doesn't mean that it's really that important or popular.
Chairman, and thank you to my colleague Alex Padilla for this legislation. Appreciate all of you testifying today. Mr. Simmons, I want to ask you about the song Beth, but you're not here for that, so I'm not going to. What I would, and I love that song. I love all your songs.
Poser.
And thank you for bringing my Cusamano constituents with you. What I'd like to ask you, you've been obviously performing for quite a while. When you began your career, there was a kind of understanding that I think was the rationale for this injustice that, well, if radio stations are playing your music, you're getting advertising, more people are buying your albums. Obviously, the industry has completely changed. And the way people access music has completely changed.
It's like 5 drunk dudes slamming beer cans going, Kiss! Woo! Kiss is literally the most overrated band of all time. You've never heard of the Black Eyed Peas. I think that is the mainstream band that I hated the most and just could not stand.
But if you could talk a little bit about how the industry has evolved and what it means today not to be compensated. That is, I would imagine whatever promotional value you get of your songs played on the radio doesn't somehow create enough recompense to make up for the lack of being paid for those songs being played on the radio.
Well, first and foremost, what you say is so. But I want to cut to the chase, which is when we first began, we were 4 knuckleheads off the streets of New York who could barely spell, read, or write.
Or play.
Just happened by ourselves. We never knew. No one. Artists are not qualified to understand the business model. We didn't have a business manager. I didn't know that once you get a song that goes on radio, radio is not going to pay you to play the song. But they will have the right, I will say this again, they have the right to use our name and likeness. And you're talking about trademarks. You use my trademark without my permission. Otherwise, I'm going to take your house and your firstborn. Are you kidding me? So
is there not like a deal in place in the beginning to get your song on the radio in the first place? Do you not have to wouldn't they pay a certain amount to get like the rights to? I don't know how that works. Maybe someone else in the chat or watching this later does know more of the details of how a rock band would actually get their song on the radio. Because there's no way that a radio station is just playing these songs without compensating the band in any way. Certainly not enough, or at least according to Gene, not enough. You'd think with that amount of time performing, Gene would understand that being that close to the mic makes him sound like he's in a toilet. Anyway.
Radio uses billboards across the country's highways of America to promote the radio stations so that people will tune into their station because they are hearing our voice on their station so they can sell advertising. And more power to you. You should be making more money, become more successful, but the new artists are not going to get their fair shake. There are barely record companies left. The entire music industry is in disarray, and all these pennies are so important, especially for tomorrow's stars.
Damn, you just cut him off?
Simmons of the rock band.
Fuck you, Fox Live Now guy.
Yes, demanding that every musician in America.
The one time Gene Simmons is making sense on things people want to back up. Live Fox Now. Like, no.
Receive their fair play when it.
At the
Man, fuck out of here, piece of shit. One time where I want to back Gene and hear what he's saying. News anchor's like, let's make it about me.
Of any career, all those pennies, bits and pieces are so important. It sometimes is the difference between success and failure. There was a band that just recently announced, a band called Garbage, successful. They sold 1 million.
Great timing. Great fucking timing. I didn't know he was going to say that. The radio stations get the rights from the record label and get advertising for tune and ratings. Yeah, so then you should complain to your label. Right? Or the label should be demanding more. I don't know. I do not know the details of the situation.
Records of something. Shirley Manson.
I've never thought about Dark Insanity being played on the radio and how many pennies we could get for it.
The lead singer announced they were quitting the music business.
Good.
Because for them, it was not financially feasible. There are different income streams when you play a concert. If you do well.
His example there does not work because, as I covered in my latest video, Shirley Manson is rich and a cunt. But if he was using literally anyone else, it would be a good example.
You do well. There's some bands that do better in concerts, like the Grateful Dead, who didn't sell as many records and so on. So every one of those pieces of the puzzle gives a band a chance to survive. And at the outset, as I said before, radio is important. Radio is important for both of us. Radio needs artists, and artists need radio. That's
how are you going to be wearing this much jewelry, being like, we need more pennies?
Fine. I'm going to keep going back to the same old point. One of those two is making a fortune, and the other one, for doing all the hard work, is getting Zippola. I'm going to say it again. For the new artists, often it's times between, often it comes down to death or life. Those few pennies that radio would pay once this bill is passed, because I don't play with if.
What's a radio? It is an archaic thing from past times your grandparents or their grandparents used to use to hear news and music on. And believe it or not, you could not just look up and select any song you wanted to at the time. You had to wait and hope that your song got played at all and sit by the radio. If it was the really early days and you're trying to listen to metal or punk rock, you'd have to wait till night and hide the radio from your parents and sit there with your head like that to hear a little bit of Black Sabbath on the slightest volume possible. But you kids wouldn't know about that, would you? Now we live in the future. It's like a landline.
We'll go through. I know the president well enough. He will sign this as soon as we all put this paper in front of him. It will give new bands a chance. Those extra pennies and dollars and so on will give them a little more to devote more to their craft. And again,
hey, if Gene earns me more money, I will accept it.
You know, this idea that, it's just music. No, it's not. It represents America. They are our emissaries to the rest of the planet.
Gene Simmons just declared to Congress that Dark Insanity are the emissaries of the planet. You heard it here, folks.
We want to have big superstars so they can tour overseas. So everybody says, that music comes from America. I want to go to America. One of the reasons my mother and I wanted to come to America, I wanted to come, is Elvis. Where was he born? I can't think of a single performer, artist, or anything that comes from. I got to go to France to hear. I don't. It's like, shut up.
What the fuck did he just say? Wait, I gotta repeat that part.
Artist or anything that comes from. I got to go to France to hear. I don't. It's like, shut up. You want.
That's what. When you say, like, yeah, I want to go to France to see Gojira, and he's like, blah, 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 blah.
To come to America, the land of dreams, the land that creates superstars and superheroes. Those are our emissaries. Pay new artists especially. Pay them something, between something and $14 billion, Mr. Hinton.
Yeah, Mr. Hinton. Where's my check? Dark Insanity wants a check from Mr. Hinton. I want it handed to me by Gene Simmons. Say, here's your pennies.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I think Gene is like making sense. I mean, without looking into the details of the bill that he's talking about, I agree on the surface with everything that he's saying. I'd be curious to see the details of, you know, is the thing actually supportive of artists? Is there some sneaky shit in there? I don't know, but on the surface of what he's saying, I agree with it.
Senator Schiff, you may also want to note that Garbage's best song was "I'm Only Happy When It Rains." Speaking.
Shut the fuck up. Gene has great genes. That ad would be fucking hilarious. I was checking what Rocket's doing.
You're speaking to possibly the most unqualified person in this room. However, as a voting citizen of these United States, I and the rest of the population hold the ultimate power. And as one voting member, I think all radio stations must pay something.
Okay.
Somewhere between something and $14 billion is the answer.
All right, just one.
I'll take it. I agree with Gene. We'll take the $14 billion.
Final plug. Senator Blackburn and I have the TRAIN Act, and it's really an effort to try to protect exploitation of the artistic output of products through AI.
He's one of the aliens that came out in one of the orbs from the ocean. Look at that. That human flesh is barely hanging on.
I would just like to hear from each, just a yes or no. Do you think we should protect intellectual property, the creative content?
Respectfully,
exploited with it.
May I take
AI.
some of your time, Senator?
It's like, shut the fuck up. I got this. Damn. Like I said, I'm not like a fan of Gene Simmons. I don't really listen to Kiss or definitely not his solo music or anything. But there's sometimes he says things where I'm like, damn, that was cold-blooded. That was cold-blooded.
I didn't want you to say it's already 40 seconds over. Yes.
Very clearly. In some of the contracts that I've signed and negotiated myself, although I'm not a lawyer, in the interest of full disclosure, perhaps there should be an escalation clause. Smaller stations, you play our songs a few times, it's X. If you're finding out that you're playing our songs and it's really increasing and you start making a lot more money, perhaps there should be an escalation clause for the reason you're making more money and selling more advertising. That's fair.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Work out the details of it. But come here. Rocket says, give him all the money. Hi, what do you think of Gene Simmons? Rocket says, Kiss is for posers. How are they going to look black metal and not scream and sacrifice goats? Someone asked if Rocket is still chunky. I think you can see the answer now. I'm trying to work on it. Fat baby. I started now when I give him treats. Instead of pouring out like a couple, I'll put one down and then I'll run to across the apartment to the other end and leave one over there and then run back and keep doing it. I'm working on it, you little fat ass. Can cats take Ozempic? Yeah. He's like, stop listening to Gene and play with me. Oh, hold up. Ow.
Have a fallback position. And I say this seriously because since the advent of downloading and file sharing, where artists are actually getting minuscule amounts, barely able to get by. And by the way, I was a 6th grade teacher at a college education. I worked at Williamson and Williamson.
I didn't know that he was a 6th grade teacher.
I was the assistant to the director of the Puerto Rican Interagency Council, Boricua. You know what I'm talking about. The original Indians and
racist.
Mexico, Magdalena Miranda, it was a government research and demonstration project, and because I had skills, I could type 90 words a minute, fix hexagraph, mimeograph, ad infinitum, ad nauseum. I was making 23 grand a year when that meant a lot of money, but doing the Jewish way, living with your mother, not paying rent and so on. So I amassed a large enough amount that I could support the band we were forming together without managers and everything else. The advice I have for everybody is always have a fallback position, because everybody believes, and God bless him for believing, I can reach the stars. Well, what happens if you don't? What's your fallback position? How old is he now?
10 years old, sir.
Okay, he's got time. What kind of music?
Oh, heavy metal.
Scandinavian black death metal grind sludge slam.
Metal.
You know what? There's the 10,000 hour principle. There was a book about it. The harder you work, the luckier you'll get, and always have the fallback position. By the way, if it's not a musician, there are managers and other things and personal. America's largest.
Don't do it out of hopes to get rich. That's what the advice should be. I would agree with Gene that artists should be paid properly, and like it would be nice if you could still join a band and use it as a means to get fucking rich. Some bands are lucky enough to now, but it's much harder than in Gene's day, which is what he's talking about. But that's the advice. If you want to get into music, heavy metal, rock, whatever, don't do it to get rich. Do it because you love it. You should get the money that you're rightfully owed, but don't do it to be like, I'm going to be a big rock star.
Export besides aerospace is entertainment. Our emissaries are our pop culture heroes, and that includes rock stars. The term rock star is not just applied to music, but to politicians. When somebody's really good, you see Mr. Schiff over there, that's a rock star. You're applying a music term to that.
When you want to pass the bill.
When you're using it as a verb, let's rock.
We're going into extended play here. We need to move to Senator Wells.
This is important. Around the world, rappers call themselves rock stars. You go to anywhere in Africa, Europe, it's American culture. I'm getting the kick that says basically, shut up, let them talk. But I'm passionate about this because it goes back to our children. Don't let the future, our children, not have an opportunity to make a few pennies. We're not asking for a lot. You guys are making, respectfully, Mr. Hinton, you guys are making $14 billion a year pre-tax. I understand the hardships of the American tax system. That should be changed also. Flat tax, everybody.
We're going to have to move to Senator Wells.
You're like, all right, we don't hear you anymore. Yeah. I was trying to find this part too. Apparently there's a part where Gene says that artists are treated worse than slaves, which is, I would disagree. Does the image of a rock star still even exist? I feel like most would like to just make a living and not have to work a regular job, at least most of the time. I mean, yeah, I pretty much agree with that. The idea of like a rich rock star who's, you know, straight balling all the time, obviously is much more rare and harder to do. One of the few examples that I see of that currently, no, some people aren't going to like it, but one of the few I can think of currently that does that is Ronnie Radke. Just because he's one of the few who's like constantly showing he's playing big shows and then on like private jets while working and doing shit. Who else would you consider like a current day is regularly kind of balling like that in terms of rock star level? Because it's a lot harder now. When I was young, that was my dream of like being a rock star that makes money on the road and that's it and doesn't do anything else. That is completely unrealistic nowadays, where you can be on a band that's on tour all the time and everything, but you're still likely going to need several other sources of income to do well. So don't join Cradle of Filth. Gene Simmons didn't breathe fire at the Senate. He breathed royalties, hotter than any encore. Yep. Worse than slaves. Now we know the real meaning of Alice in Chains. There you go. He was being hyperbolic with the slaves bit. Again, rich boomer, you have to translate. I mean, Gene says some dumb shit, you know. Like everyone, he says some good things and some dumb things. Hold up. Forget filibusters. Simmons dropped a bass line heavier than Detroit Rock City. What if he just started humming all of his songs just to try to kill time? Yeah, I think that could be a good main topic for the video idea I was talking about earlier. Like, does the image of a rock star even exist anymore? Give Gene Simmons credit. He is well-spoken. At times. I was impressed when I thought he was being really honest talking about Ozzy's passing. There were some interviews with him then where I felt like you saw more of a human side of it. Side of him. Speaking of that, another segue. Hold up. Projector says, a friend of mine invited me to roadie for the first time for a band that did a wedding. Safe to say I ain't doing that for a living, considering I can't stay up past 2 a.m., yet had to stay till 6 a.m. Dude, I can't stay up past 9 p.m. It's fucking difficult for me now. Granted, I wake up probably far earlier than most people. But yeah, my sleep schedule is completely fucked up. But, oh yeah. Normal everyday band life, whether you're roadie or in the band. Hotel calls at what, like 6 a.m. On the road for hours. Probably getting underpaid. Playing the show, which is the highlight of the day. So like an hour is the highlight besides that. And it can be kind of grueling. When I was a young little metalhead, I used to get really annoyed when bands would complain about road life. And I'd be like, you should be grateful to be in that position. Blah. And now I definitely understand it a lot more. It's rough. I mean, there's great parts to it. Like, when I'm traveling, obviously it gets fucking annoying dealing with airports and everything. But the whole experience is amazing. I recall you mentioning the fact bands these days still struggle with revenue with concerts compared to back in the 80s, 90s. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I mean, you have to adjust for inflation, but yeah. Even back when concert tickets were far cheaper, bands seem to be making more money. Isn't that interesting? Last bigger than life rock star was Marilyn Manson. Maybe. Definitely. Probably, yeah. Yeah. It's hard out there for a rock star, guys. So you should support Dark Insanity and Wyatts Metal. We would appreciate it. Something I wanted to play here that I did not watch yet was a little bit about Ozzy Osbourne. Time to chop onions for this portion of the Wyatts Metal podcast. Rocket would look awesome in a denim jacket with a large Motorhead back patch. Yes, he fucking would. I wonder if he'd wear it or if he'd just freak out. But so, recently Sharon Osbourne spoke about what Ozzy's last moments and last words were. If you want to get some tear ducts rolling on this episode of the Wyatts Metal Podcast, I guess she just sat down with Pierce Morgan, who's annoying as fuck. He's such a cunt. Piers Morgan acts like he's not a troll when that's literally his entire like existence, his career is just trying to get clickbait moments out of people. But I wanted to hear what Sharon had to say here. Shay missed Rocket. He'll probably come back because he's yelling at me.
The time I've known you,
I
it
know.
was Sharon and Ozzy. How are you coping?
Ish.
Yeah.
Everything in my life now is like ish. It's okay. It's all right. I'm okay-ish. You know, that's it for now.
Do you feel like an umbilical cord has been removed from you because you were so into
Pierce is gonna fucking squeeze those tears out of her, dude, like a sponge.
Twine for so long.
For so long. For so many years. And just it's really grief is now become my friend. That's it. See, you started me off now.
You're going to start me off.
No, it's grief is a very weird thing. You know, when you love someone that much and you're grieving for them, it's what I have to live with, and I'll get used to it. I will. I have to.
Goddamn.
You know, things move on.
Ozzy was, I mean, I've said this to people. I said it actually in the run up to his last show, which was an amazing thing. I mean, the sequence of events was so classic Ozzy in many ways. But I said to people, you know, of all the people.
Just so you guys know, we're not watching this whole fucking hour-long thing. I wanted to get up to like, what, 15-minute mark or so.
I've met in public life, in my life, Ozzy Osbourne was the funniest. He was the funniest person. He was a deeply flawed individual in so many ways.
It's so flawed.
But he was a magical individual in so many ways.
Yeah.
And he was just hilarious. I mean, I first got to know you guys 20 years ago. America's Got Talent.
Yeah.
When you came on the show. And I first got to meet and know Ozzy. And I've met you a few times before, but not properly.
No.
Didn't really get to know you. And when we began to like work together for a few years, we used
to... Wait. What are you doing, fool? You doing? Ow. Fucking bastard. You're interrupting the show again. Ow. That's actually my finger. Stop. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an interruption. Cat is Everyone's trying to cry and earn Piers Morgan clickbait money, and you're interrupting that. Ow. You must hate freedom of speech. Bastard. Why are you going to play when I'm doing my show? You have terrible timing, Rocket. It's going to jump at my... fuck. Wait a minute. Damn it. Back to the crying. Or what were we doing here? Yeah, wait. No. All right.
to go out for dinner, and Ozzy would just turn up somewhere in America, you know, wherever we were doing a show, and we'd have these dinners, or whatever it was, or just a chat in the dressing room. He was just howlingly funny. That's my lasting thing about Ozzy.
It's so authentic.
Yes.
He never tried to be anything other than who he was.
Yeah. Completely true to himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's talk about...
There's a little moment in the 80s with the hairspray, but for the most part, yes.
About his last week, because I actually had a text exchange with him. I think we've got it, actually, because it was poignant for me. I was talking about the last show, and I wished him all the very best. And I said, Ozzy, I just want to wish you all the very best for your final show tomorrow. What an amazing moment it will be for you.
Get those good guy points, Pierce.
So great that it will be back where it all started. You've had an incredible career. Go out with a bang. Kind regards, Piers.
Did you watch it? Did you watch Gojira and Slayer?
And he replied, thank you, Piers, so much. We're in Birmingham, getting ready to do my final gig tomorrow. And that's that. And when I read that later, after he died, it just felt so poignant to me that in a way, perhaps subconsciously, he hung in there for this grand finale, this great performer, for this grand finale. And maybe in the back of his mind, he was thinking,
I'm done.
That's it. Did you feel that when you were with him?
Very much so, because he'd been so ill this year, terribly, terribly ill.
They said that he was in the hospital, I think, 2 weeks before the final show even happened.
And when we came to England and we were meeting with new doctors here, a new medical team for him, the main doctor said to him, if you do this show, that's it. You're not going to get through it. And we just sat there and he said, I'm doing it. I want to do it and I'm doing it. And he knew his body was failing him. He was in so much pain, so much pain.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know, he had pneumonia 3 times this year. He'd had sepsis.
Did he?
Yeah. And that's what really, really
Sepsis is-
destroyed him. I mean, he was on these
Where's that?
shots of antibiotics. It used to take 20 minutes for the shot to go in, and he had that twice a day. And it kills everything in you, the good, the bad, everything. So much antibiotics. And he just couldn't get over that. He just couldn't.
How did he manage to get the strength for that final show? Because it was brilliant to watch. I mean, watching him in that throne, it was magic. And I couldn't have thought of a
It really was, to be honest.
more brilliant way for Ozzy to bow out of live performing, surrounded by his mates, his family in the wings, tens of thousands of fans who come from all over the world, a perfect show in many ways, and the bow and the throne and how he bowed.
He just wanted it so bad to say thank you to everyone. And I think he honestly did know that he was done. It was his time.
It seems like it on some type of level. Because in so many interviews, he's talked about the pain that he was in. Just the timing of everything was unbelievable.
So he knew that if you went ahead with the show, it would probably kill him.
Yeah.
But he decided,
I'm doing it.
what a way to go.
Yeah.
And in a way, I mean, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how you feel, given how painful it's been to lose him. But when you look back at that,
But could you just squeeze that out so I can clickbait it pretty, please?
that show, do you feel it was the perfect way out for Ozzy?
He was so happy, Piers, afterwards. And he kept looking at the papers and he goes to me, I never knew so many people like me. But that was the way he was. I mean, he knew he was famous, but not to the amount that people loved him. It's a whole different thing.
Yes.
And he was just so happy, so happy.
I've always heard throughout his life that Ozzy never kind of had that mindset about him that he was above anyone. It's like you always hear stories from people saying that he was wondering if the crowd's out there, if people are going to like the show, that he was nervous and everything. He really always kept that part of himself.
And for 2 weeks, he was, really like every day was sunshine for him. He was really, really happy. Yeah. So happy. Happier than we'd seen him in 7 years.
Really? I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
Because it was an amazing outpouring of love.
It was unbelievable.
Around the world, though. It was
Yeah.
like an enormous thing. I remember posting a picture on Instagram about it before the show. And I was amazed by the reaction. It just blew up. And I suddenly realized, I sort of taken for granted, because I knew him so well, but I took for granted how big Ozzy was as a rock star, how famous he was. But I think you're right. I hadn't factored in how much people loved him.
Yeah.
And they really, really loved him. And that day was like an outpouring of love from him, as it was when he died. I mean, the scenes after he died were extraordinary.
The timing was so unique because since the show had just happened, everyone had Ozzy stepping down, retiring so fresh on their mind. it wasn't like we didn't hear anything about him for years and then all of a sudden he died. So like globally, everyone's attention was already on Ozzy, and then to have him pass away right afterward.
Extraordinary.
It was unbelievable. It was like when we drove into Birmingham, I mean, we were just like the whole family. We were just like, oh, wow, look at this. He was just, again, people loved him. He made people happy.
You did.
And people knew he was authentic. He wasn't pretending to be, you know, Mr. Big or, you know, I'm bigger than you. He was genuinely happy for all his friends when his friends were successful. And he just was
Even when Sharon was causing drama with Banshee, he would still try to play it cool and not get involved himself.
happy with his place in life, and he didn't want any more. He didn't want any less, but he was really, really happy at what he'd done in his life.
Was he
And
amazed he lasted as long as he did, given the wild excess he'd put his body
Yeah, he said that multiple times. He didn't think he'd make it to 30.
through?
Yeah.
I mean, to live to, what was he, 76?
76.
I
yeah.
mean, you could have got good odds in Vegas that Ozzy Osbourne would not make it to 76.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I, you know, I used to think to myself when we were going to, you know, we went everywhere, Piers, to try and get him fixed. You know, it was like trick doctors that had different machines, and, you know, I would do anything in the hope that
Which is?
something could help, but nothing could. But I would say to him, you know, we're blessed. We are blessed to still be together at this point because of what you've done to your body. Me? What have I done? You know, like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, oh, you only smoked like 50 cigarettes a day for, you know, 50 years.
He only breathed cocaine through 10 years.
You know, drank the breweries dry. But he did it his way. And that's it.
What were your last conversations with him like?
Oh, God.
He told me that he was having dreams the last week of his life. Excuse me. He was seeing people that he never knew, and they were, I said, well, what kind of people? He goes, all different people. And I just keep walking and walking, and I'm seeing all these different people every night. And I go back there and I'm looking at these people and they're looking at me and nobody's talking. And he knew he was ready.
Oh, extraordinary.
I hate dreams. People are like, dreams are so deep and meaningful, you can deconstruct them. Like, I don't want to be playing movies in my head while I'm trying to sleep. I'm trying to sleep.
And they were really vivid dreams.
Really, really vivid dreams. The night the night before he passed, you know, up and down to the bathroom all night. And it was like 4:30, and he said, wake up. I'm already bloody awake. You've woken me up. And he said, kiss me. And then he said, hug me tight.
Was that the last?
Yeah. He used to get up early and he would say, I've got to go down and work out. And he went downstairs, worked out for 20 minutes and passed away.
He just had a heart attack.
Wait, what? Ozzy's last moments were working out?
How did you find out? How did you know?
Screaming in the house, and I ran downstairs, and there he was, and they were trying to resuscitate him. And I'm like, don't leave him. Leave him. You can't. He's gone. I knew instantly he's gone. And they tried and tried, and then...
What? All right, we weren't there. But that definitely sounded weird. Did it not? Also, this is a great example of why you shouldn't work out. Be like me. Have equipment just so it upsets people. Don't actually use it because you'll die.
they took him by helicopter to the hospital, and they tried, and it's like, he's gone, just leave him.
What were you thinking?
Fear, regrets. Just I couldn't function.
What were the regrets?
I should have, could have, would have, if only I'd have told him I loved him more, if only I'd have held him tighter.
But you always told him you loved him.
I did.
You always hugged him tight. You had one of the great marriages I've ever seen in my life. It was turbulent. It had its ups and downs. Everybody knows that. But it was a great marriage, Sharon. I mean, you knew each other from 1970.
Yeah.
This is how interesting. How would I describe it? I guess presenting a narrative someone can be, because we all agree that Ozzy was great and his amazing legacy and everything. But I've said before on the channel that if you didn't mention the name and you just said, hey, here's this guy who was a major drug addict, once killed a bunch of cats and tried to kill his wife, you'd be like, oh shit, that person's horrible. But then when you mention it's Ozzy Osbourne and everything else he did in his life and everything about him, then people's opinions change. Isn't that interesting?
I mean, incredible if you think about that. 55 years you'd known since you were a teenager.
Yeah. And he's just never not been there.
Do you think when he, the night before, said, hug me, do you think he knew that the end was very close?
Yeah, he knew. He knew when he did the show that it was, you know, he, I think he didn't want to die on stage. He didn't. But he knew that it was that close. He did.
When he was
fucking hell, imagine if he had. That would have been pretty brutal.
Was hugging you that night before. What was he saying to you?
Oh, he's just hugged me tighter, you know. But he was having, you know, when I go, do you think you'll ever get married? I'm like, fuck off, are you joking? Piss off. Questions like that, you know.
Could you imagine ever marrying anybody else?
Never. Oh my God, no, never. Ever, ever, ever.
Boy,
in those 2 weeks,
trying to have a touching moment and going in here and ruining it. Someone's in here chopping onions, and Rocket has to come in and be all cute and pick everybody's spirits up. Isn't that right? Yeah. What do you have to say to the people about Ozzy? That's right. Sorry to bring the mood down on everybody, but I thought it was important to play. I wanted to hear about Ozzy's last moments. So instead, their cats look around every time he merps. Rocket's been annoying the fuck out of me because I feed him at the same time every day for his entire life. And an hour early, he starts screaming at me all the time. Non-stop. And I'm always like, if you wait an hour, you'll get food when you have every single other day. And he's just... Anyway, rest in peace, Ozzy. That shit. So his last thing he did was working out. I don't know why the fuck he even was working out in his state at that time. They said that he'd been working out to get ready for the show, but I mean, shit, you can stop after that. Interesting. Take care of yourselves and your health. Don't do a bunch of coke on the ground filled with ants and then piss on the Alamo. It might come back to bite you in a couple years. What? And I was really getting annoying. Jesus. All right. We cannot go out of here on that sad note. We need to pick up the mood a little bit, turn the frown upside down. Everyone's talking about weed in the comments. What is there to bring up? I did put up here talking about albums of the year. If anyone has suggestions on them, I was trying to put my list together for a video. Let me check if there's any breaking metal news I should report on right now. Album of the year, people. What do we think? Big one for me. Came out very early in the year, but it was so good. It was Scour with their album. I think it was called Gold. That's the one that probably blew me away the most. But the Testament album is really fucking good. 1914 album is really good. There was actually some good music that came out this year. Oh, God. Oh, wait. Fucking Milwaukee Metal Fest announced a couple of bands, too. Let's do that. But motherfucker. Hang on. I'm checking into. Oh, God. Remember we mentioned before updates on Cokehead Kyle. Apparently, he just made a post. Doesn't seem like anything too crazy, but no hospital would take me. Evidently, they have no tolerance for public nudity. Preda spirals deeper into madness. The three of us are 2 days from home. Thank you to everyone who has been in our corner. Take your medication, people. Don't give in to... I was going to say don't give in to schizophrenia. That's not really fair to say because that's not how it works. And I'm not trying to bash anyone who it takes over them, but maybe don't do cocaine for 30 hours if you're struggling with anger and schizoid fucking issues. Is this motherfucker wearing pink Crocs? That's where your GoFundMe money went to, fucking idiots. Like, oh, he needs $11,000 to get home. He's sitting around in pink Crocs. This man was on tour with a death metal band in an RV with a full-size dog and pink Crocs. I would ditch my band members for wearing pink Crocs too. What the fuck is even that? Don't be like Kyle, kids. So yeah, that's Christ. Danny owes Paul money for that shirt. Comments saying you're a retard. You know, at least it's nice to see most of the comments saying, like, dude, you need to get help, and not just being like, oh my God, you're the greatest. What were we talking about? Send that picture to J-Dog. He spent that 8,000 left over on nose beers already. I'd fucking guarantee you spent some of it. Absolutely. No, he was just joking in that one video where he said to give him cocaine. I'm busy. I can't feed you right now. People say Black Braid 3 was too awesome. I was still going through it so far. Sophia says, for me, Lauren Shore's album, I Feel the Ever Black Festering in with blah, 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 was the best album of the year. Album of the year is both Never Enough by Turnstile and The Scholars by Car Seat Headrest. Lamp of Murmur. And you like bands that are very hard to pronounce. Lamp of Murmur and Sanguizabog dropped some A+ albums. Dawn of the Iron Shadow by One of Nine is also a spectacular album that came out recently. I saw a bunch of hype for that one. I did not check out that album yet, but I should. He really does need to get help. People said the only reason people donated was to get the dog home. Yeah, because it's fucked up. You're basically making a hostage decree with this dog and be like, help get me home or what will happen to the dog because of my bad decisions. Fuck you. It's like whenever I see a homeless person with a dog, I'm like, oh my God, that's so sad. Someone should take that dog away from them and give it a better life. Fucking piece of shit. 9K on nose beers, 1K on dumb fashion. How expensive or cheap are pink Crocs? Wait, people actually gave him money? Yeah, his GoFundMe was, last I checked, just under $11,000. It was like $10,800 or something. For albums of the year, for me, it's a toss-up between Steel, Rust, and Disgust by Midnight. Good fucking choice. And The Great Satan by Trivex. Good fucking, you listen to good music. Both earlier in the year, but really solid. Trivex is awesome. I really like that dude. He's very interesting. He has his own podcast. Rocket. Don't make me get the shot collar. Place. Metal Adjacent, New Igor, and Author Punisher. I really enjoyed Gold Star by Imperial Triumph. What? I'm starting to crash. Got Rocket. Rocket would fuck up Hassan, right? You could take him. What did I write down on my list for metal albums? I know it doesn't really count because it's a live album, but I don't care. Kenon and Faber, live album is going on my list because it's fucking amazing. I also wrote down a couple of others. Oh, how did I fucking blank on Orbit Culture? Damn, I checked that one late into the game. I kind of, with Orbit Culture was doing like their top Spotify plays. Didn't even realize that most of them were from that album. And then listened to the album and was like, yep, bang, top for sure. Number one, I don't know. I'm not going that far yet. But Orbit Culture's, yep, is definitely on the fucking list. Anyone could fuck up his song. That's why he lives in a gated community with security. Exactly. That's why he's a socialist. Because he pays for private security in a gated community. I don't think there's really anything else to go over at the moment. Anyone have any fun metal holiday plans coming up? Probably not. Everyone excited to go watch the Diddy documentary on Netflix. That's all I got so far. For me, best album of the year was Zenith by Bleed From Within. Amazing guitar shredding, horrific vocals. Clean vocals are good, I promise. It's pure Scottish metalcore at its finest. I'll have to take your word for that, at least for now. This was honestly a pretty good year for new music. Have a deep list for this year. I'm sure there are so many that I forgot, man. Admittedly, I did not listen to the most albums out of anyone this year. I saw some YouTubers saying, like, my top 40 albums of the year, my top 50 albums of the year. And, like, I don't know if I listened to 40 albums in the year. Because I'm a poser. Trying to go see Trans-Siberian Orchestra next week in Albany. Tickets are expensive, though. It's worth it. Like, I just saw them after Thanksgiving, and it was great. Strongly recommend. I loved my Trans-Siberian Orchestra video, obviously bombed, at least in compared to other videos, got very few views. And I was just laughing, like, people tell me all the time, you only just talk about TMZ drama bullshit. How come you don't like hype bands or spread like good positive music stuff? And every time I do those videos, bomb. or get way less views than any of the others. Which honestly doesn't bother me at this point. I'm going to make the videos I want to make, but it is always something that makes me laugh. I'll get a comment from someone being like, dude, what happened to your videos? Like I used to like them, but now it's only drama stuff. I'm like, really? My last 2 weeks of video says otherwise, but okay. Being on the internet is fun. When I do pass 100K subscribers, I'll make a video on like what I learned from doing YouTube, how you can do it yourself. Just grift. Just find something and grift. Make up accusations against people. Never provide any proof. You'll skyrocket to the top. Right, Rocket? Anyway, I'm kind of just rambling right now. What? Do you want to say any final words, Rocket? Before you make me feed you too early. Seeing dying fetus and pig destroyed New Year's Eve. That's a good way to ring in the new year. Oh. I forgot Milwaukee Metal Fest announced some bands. Not a lot, but some good ones. We got anybody looking for some weekend nachos? We've got weekend nachos will be available at Milwaukee Metal Fest. Also got one that I really like. Hyrax joins the lineup. Hyrax is sick as fuck. Old school thrash. Badass band. I will be there. And then we got Jeffrey Nothing. Time to smoke a Jeffrey. It will calm you down. Quit fucking with the Christmas tree, Rocket. He does it to get my attention, you little asshole. I think those are the only new ones at the moment, but I'm super stoked with Hyrax. Oh, and they got Power Trip too. Yeah. Good lineup coming to Milwaukee in 2026. Weekend Nachos is crazy. Saw them in the basement of a church. That sounds insane. Because when I think metal and Weekend Nachos, I think the basement of a church. Oh. Yep, that's all I got for now. Anyway, next video that I will have up should, unless some like crazy drama breaks all of a sudden that I can record, but I'm going to do my top albums of the year. That will be right around the corner. Throw that one together. And then after that, it is that time of year, ladies and gentlemen, fans of the channel for a little while now. We will be doing the dumbest comments of the year video. Very exciting. Shout out to all the potential nominees over the year. If you're new to the channel and haven't seen them before, every year around this time, I like to go over and find the dumbest comments I got throughout the entire year and put them together and react to them with everybody. It is a lot of fun. And it's not comments that are disagreeing with me. It's not like someone going, oh, you like this band, but I like this band. It's people who are fucking retarded, but are way too confident in themselves, saying things that are completely fucking unhinged. It's always a lot of fun. I think the 2 previous years I did it. So that will be coming very soon, before Christmas for sure. Besides that, my band Dark Insanity is recording our new single this weekend. So it should be out sometime, probably the beginning of the new year. We'll see. But new music from Dark Insanity coming very soon. If you've seen us live, you've heard it. But if not, there you go. Yeah, that's everything I got. I will be back for another Wyatts Metal podcast next week. But then after that, we are taking Lemmy's birthday off to celebrate, as we properly should. With that said, take care and have a metal time. Take it away.
Now, this might strike some viewers as harsh, but I believe everyone involved in this story should die.